up, good movie lovers? I have been watching a bunch of movies over the last few months, and I have not been making videos about them. So I thought I'd play a little catch-up with some rapid-fire summer movie reviews. And these are some 2018 movies that have come out in the last couple months, either in theater or online, and I wanted to do some quick reviews about them, because I feel like I owe you. Anyway, so let's get going. First off is Deadpool 2, that big movie that everyone was talking about a couple months ago. And it's okay. That's the end. It's just an okay film. It may have something to do with the fact that I have never been the biggest Deadpool fan in my life. So that is probably when he's the focus of your movie and he's the main character. I actually almost didn't see the movie this year because I just didn't care. But I went to see it, and it is, I gotta say, it is a well-produced, well-made film. It's got a lot of good, strong action. Who's the guy who plays Deadpool? It's the Ryan something? Matthew Ryan? I don't know. The guy who plays Deadpool. Yeah, I gotta admit, I really am impressed about how much he has really kind of like put himself into the role. He co-produces. He wears the mask almost all the time, which is kind of fucking rare for superhero movies, because God forbid I go 2 minutes without seeing the actor's face. Might forget who it is. So he doesn't really do that, and I really respect that. He co-wrote this thing, and it has a really good kind of like solid classic X-Men plot to it. Be that as it may, I didn't find a lot of the humor that funny, really. Maybe I'm getting a little bit over superhero self-referential humor. I don't know. It's just like you can only hear the same jokes over and over again. And that's kind of what I've been feeling. That's actually why I didn't bother seeing the Teen Titans Go movie, aside of the fact that I don't like the TV show. But that's a big reason. So, outside of that, you know, we have the action, which I think is pretty spot on. The acting all around is good. Unfortunately, the relationship between Mrs. Deadpool and him is boring, and I didn't really kind of like latch onto that relationship. Oh no, she's dead, and he has to do a bunch of things, and they meet, and I don't know. There was nothing. To be honest, there was nothing really fresh about that stuff. And the relationship in either film, either Deadpool 2 or this Deadpool, or the first Deadpool, never really kind of grabbed me. And I never felt really believed by it. So, with that said, I think it's a really strong outing, but it's just something that just left me cold. So I would definitely give it 3 out of 5 Ram Chips. Ocean's 8, I liked it a little bit better. I've never been a big fan of the Ocean series. I saw the first one, liked it, and that was kind of all I needed. But this new kind of like refresher on the series I thought was interesting. It wasn't so much a remake, but a continuation with Danny Ocean's sister kind of taking over the reins of being a thief. And she sets up a team. Without giving too much away, it's one of those films that you just, hey, sit back, enjoy it. It's going to play loose and fast with you. It's going to throw you a couple of curveballs and try and do some twists. I always just enjoy just like not trying to figure it out, just let the movie kind of wash over me and have fun. And it did. I've been watching so many fucking superhero movies lately, and it's kind of fun to watch a non-superhero movie every so often. And this is like a good classic mainstream type of movie in that regard. So, the acting's always good. There's a great cast here with Sandra Bullock and Kate Blanchett. And, God, Minnie Kaling's in this, and Rihanna, and Awkwafina. Let's see. God, Anne Hathaway is great in this. She may have been my favorite character. And I'm a big fan of Anne Hathaway. I think she's terrific. Oh, and like Helen Bonham Carter is in this, playing kind of a Helen Bonham Carter character. And yeah, I really dug this movie. Let's see, I'm going to probably give this one 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Alright, so hey, it's great to get away from superhero movies, so thank God there's, Incredibles 2 that came out. And I was a huge fan of the Incredibles film, and very irritated that it took so long to make a sequel. 14 years in the making. And the sequel is, after 14 years, a good, solid superhero movie. And that's kind of it. It really didn't try and reinvent the wheel. And I don't like being disappointed in a film because it didn't do too much. I always feel bad about that, and I always feel some fans overdo anger about that. Like, oh, how dare this movie not do these things I wanted to do. So I try to stay away from that, but I can't help feeling like this movie really didn't do anything besides kind of the most obvious things. It does it very well. It starts with literally picking up where it left off, where the Underminer shows up, tries to rob a bank. They have a big fight with him. It destroys like a couple of city blocks, and he gets away, and they get in trouble. By the way, one of the agents that picked him up brings up a really interesting point. Like, hey, that bank was insured. There'd be actually less damage if you had just left him alone. Of course, you're not going to do that, but like, crap, that is a valid point. And you think it's going to get a little bit more into that kind of stuff, and it kind of doesn't. What follows is the rich brother and sister team hire Elastigirl to kind of be their main spokesman. The job is to kind of get superheroes back on the radar in good standing with the public. This film, I think, does a better job making it look like this. I shouldn't say making it look like, because the previous one does too. Making it be the 60s, a little bit more believable than that, because, you know, it has a stylistic world where it looks like the 60s in the first one. You really do forget sometimes. This one, you're a little bit more into that world. I love the quick shots of some TV, like Johnny Quest. By the way, the footage of Johnny Quest, they didn't, like, you know, do any new CG stuff for it, which was really cool, actually. I love the stuff building up to Jack Jack. A baby character is never my favorite thing in the world, but Jack Jack is, I think, really well done. Probably because babies that could turn into devil monsters are less annoying than other kind of regular babies. So I think that was pretty well handled. I loved all the Elastigirl stuff with her investigating the Screen Slaver and that mystery going on, while we had the Mr. Mom plot with Mr. Incredible, which, you know, these characters are so damn likable, and even though this film really doesn't try to push the envelope and try to make an interesting kind of statement about superheroes and superhero movies and where we are, that's fine, because these characters are just, I can just sit and watch them, and watch, you know, a few movies of them. And I like the fact that he kind of comes to these realizations he does without kind of like ruining everything for her. I like the fact they could be a little bit more better at communication, but it is the 60s. Come on, for a 60s marriage, they are pretty well set up as a communicating couple. Oh boy, this is really good. There's a few anachronistic things about the movie, despite the fact that it feels more like the 60s in the first one. Particularly with the name of the villain, Screenslaver, which would not have been a thing. It would have been a meaningless pun back in the 60s, because screensavers weren't a thing, or at least they weren't a mainstream thing. Don't at me about computers in the 60s. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it's weird. I don't know, I feel like a dick not liking a movie because it didn't do enough. And maybe if this film had come out 2 years after the first one, I'd be balls out, and this would be great. I love it. With that said, let's see, I hope that maybe next one, if they do a next one like 15 years from now, will be a little bit more of an advanced plot, you know, where we go from here now that the superheroes have been kind of like back on the map as far as the mainstream public goes. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 random chips. If it's still in theaters by the time you see it, or whenever you chance, go see it. It's a really fun, good superhero movie, and the characters are great. After that, we got Mary Shelley, which is about that writer who invented Frankenstein, and probably you could make the argument there wouldn't be very much science fiction or horror without her. And it's not a horror story or anything like that. It's a sort of docudrama about her life, focusing mostly on her marriage and her relationships with her husband and her sister, which I thought was interesting. I didn't expect the sister to be such a big part of the movie going into it, and I really did enjoy that. It's Elle Fanning playing Mary Shelley. She's quite good in this role. I've been discovering her more and more lately, and she's pretty impressive. She's very impressive in this film, where it kind of like it shows like, geez, like the depressing amount of like death and struggles that she went into in her very early life. Like, geez, within the like first 23 years of her life, she had so much she was dealing with. Like, obviously the death of her mother and the struggles, financial struggles with her dad, the financial struggles with her and her husband being really not the most reliable guy in the world, if I could put it mildly. And by the way, the Lord Baron character is great. He basically is Victorian prince. I didn't know that, so that's a nice thing to know. And boy, this was rather good. There are some things that, of course, you know, like the Professor Marston film, there are some liberties the film takes. Lindsay brought up to me when we were watching it that she's surprised they didn't go with the whole losing her virginity on her mother's grave, which actually is true. It actually happened. She did that, but it's not in the movie. Think, man, that's a thing you put in your movie if you're making a movie about Mary Shelley, but they didn't do that. I guess maybe they thought that'd be too. No, it was a mistake. They should have done that. I rather enjoyed this film quite a bit. I would definitely give this also 4 out of 5 ram chips. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's also a film I recently saw on Hulu. I checked it out. I saw some previews about it, and I Kill Monsters just grabbed me. The poster, the trailer, I had to go see it, and checked it out a few weeks ago.
I Kill Giants.
Fuck! I Kill Giants, excuse me. We'll totally edit that out if I learn how to edit. So anyway, I Kill Giants, and don't be deceived if you see the trailer and think this is going to be like an action fantasy type of thing. It's a pretty intense drama about a young woman who is going through some shit, and she is kind of helped to cope with it through these fantasy giant monsters and her quest to protect her town from them. It reminded me, after I was done watching it, it reminded me a lot of a couple of films that have recently kind of done that. Kind of like take, like Pan's Labyrinth, and even Sucker Punch kind of deals with this. The film is better than Sucker Punch, but not as good as Pan's Labyrinth, so it's right in the middle. And wow, there's just some stuff. There's some nice, really build. I don't want to give too much away about this film, but the dramatic stuff, the personal stuff, really did speak to me. The giants are used sparingly. The performances by the lead, and Zoe Saldana's in this too. She's really good as a guidance counselor trying to help her cope, and she doesn't believe the giant thing. And the effects are used sparingly, and they're really effective when they're in the film. I definitely do recommend this. I think it was a really touching, sweet film. I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5 ram chips, but don't expect like an action fantasy thing. That's not what the movie's trying to do. So, you know, if you go in thinking that, you might be a little disappointed. So just go in and just enjoy. And speaking of enjoy, we got the last of the Marvel movies for this month. And it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I should have probably done a big spoiler fun fest thing about it, but fuck it. I enjoyed the movie. It picks up really nicely from the previous one. I love the range of effects they use in trying to like work with the shrinking and growing effects. I think that's nicely done, and the performances by everybody is just great. I mean, everybody in this Marvel studio system has their shit together. Like all the actors, the stuff in the first scene with young Michael Douglas and young Michelle Pfeiffer is so weird. They've perfected the young it's kind of unsettling because, hey, Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer were making movies in the 80s, and that looks like them, and it's really friggin' weird. But, oh boy, that first scene was great, the connection. They do a great job keeping the connection between parents and children, like they did in the first one. The relationship between Scott and his daughter Cassie is great, as well as the stuff going on between Hope and her parents, and it's fun. And here's the thing: I'm really happy that this followed Infinity War because it's fun. Movie you can just sit back and enjoy. After how dark and serious, I mean, it had humor, but I mean, it was mostly a pretty heavy film, Infinity War. So this one I think was a nice breather. And of course, we don't get completely at peace with this because at the end, we have a connection to Infinity War. And I gotta say, the characters that die at the end of that kind of surprised me. I actually figured 2 other characters would die, and not the ones that did. I don't know. So I'm not too sure where we're going with this. But yeah, I don't want to talk spoilers, but you know who died. You know who turned to ash. And yeah, I totally thought it was going to be the opposite direction on that. So I don't know what the next movie's going to give us. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I would definitely give this one 4 out of 5 ram chips. Not bad. I think that's it for now. I'm going to be seeing some more movies, and I'll be doing more individual reviews. But this is a way of just catching up. So I hope you like these films. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies. If you have any comments or disagreements or thumbs up on whatever I said. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, speaking of which. Notification bell. If you want to follow me at The Real Manos on Twitter, you can. And also on Facebook. And support the channel on Patreon. I think, let's see, I'm planning to see Black Klansman, I think sometime in the next week or 2. I'll be doing a review about that. And I think in the next month, I'll finally bring back Manos at the Movies, where I talk about cult movies. So get ready for that. Done. Push the button, Lindsay.
I can't update nobody like me. Get those